I mean, glassware can't be understated. It's one of the most important parts when you're looking at wine.
Why are there so many types of wine glasses? Marketing is one thing.
There's a lot on the market, and it can be incredibly overwhelming.
Riedel alone probably makes 50 different wine glasses. Maybe I'm probably being conservative in saying that. And if you're talking to a lot of these German, Austrian people who have fancy brands we all know and we all use, they'll have a different wine glass for every different variety.
I don't personally feel that that's necessary to put a Syrah in one specific glass and, you know, a Cab in another. There are basic styles that I find helpful for a variety of different wines.
I totally support drinking out of a regular cup or even the bottle if you need to have a drink. But if you really want to experience wine, you need to smell it. And in order to really smell it, you need it in a glass that collects the aromas.
Because each different glass size. And, you know, first off, we're assuming they're clean, they're polished, they're really nice looking. But certain glasses, the more narrow, the top, a lot of times they focus in these aromas.
This is a big deal because our sense of taste is actually dictated quite a bit by our ability to smell.
It's almost like a mini form of decanting. So sometimes you'll see, if a wine's not been decanted, you'll see people drinking wine swirling it pretty aggressively. And that's to help aerate it and help the wine open up, maybe blow off sulfur, but really just get to the bottom of the purity of the aromas.
So when it comes to taste wine, somebody has been placing time and years to make the best wine as they could, and it's so important to serve it in the appropriated glass.
And there's actually some science to it. It's just a thing, okay? You've got this glass, and it's got alcohol. You got the wine down here. And then what happens is all the volatile aromas are released when you swirl. And what they are is they latch on to the alcohol that's getting evaporated into the air in the glass. And these aroma compounds are what people talk about, the vanilla, the chocolate, the raspberries, the blueberries, the cassis, the wet socks, the whatever. Those are what you want, because that's what wine tastes good. So why the heck would you not give yourself the opportunity to try that?
When you open a fantastic bottle of wine served in the wrong glass, for me, it is just like a friend who would just borrow me the key of his Ferrari and say, go and try it on the roads of a vineyard. It's nonsense. You want to try it on a racetrack.
There's so many different types of glasses.
And for me, it's not as simple as red wine, white wine. I think that's a little too rudimentary, to be honest. So I like to go in the characteristic realm.
You can narrow it down from all the different shapes and sizes to a couple key traditional shapes that are pretty versatile.
There's the white wine glass. It's smaller. It keeps the wine cooler.
So when you're drinking a wine that is more youthful, those white all-purpose glasses, especially on white wines, work very well because it preserves that freshness.
Then there's the burgundy glass. That's like a big globe. It just collects as many little aromas as it possibly can because Pinot is so delicate. It's just a delicate thing.
That gets a big surface area at the bottom and really focuses in on those more nuanced flavors.
Much more kind of a feminine style, much more curvy, much more shapely. That glass is for Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and then you can get kind of technical in the other grapes that originate there, like we're talking Gamay, we're talking Pinot Blanc, we're talking all the kind of offshoots of Pinot.
I like Syrah, I like Viognier in there as well. That bigger bowl for those just kind of gives it a little more air. They are softer, you need that kind of air to be able to like funnel up those softer, more elegant notes up into your face.
There's the Bordeaux glass, much bigger. I like to call it the oversized, because it's just like, you can put it in like it's as big as your face. Like you're in there.
The Bordeaux stem is made for wines such as Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, Merlot, Malbec, Sauvignon Blanc, Semillon, all the grapes that are from Bordeaux originally.
Those wines, they tend to see oak, they tend to see more power behind them. You know, you want that because the glass accentuates those abilities.
And the kinds of grapes that come from Bordeaux tend to be much more masculine, more powerful. They don't need as much space to show what they are. They're much more kind of focused in the way that they show themselves.
Then there's the port glass. It's a lot more slender because there's so much alcohol in port. You need to have a little more streamlined smell going into your nose.
If you put a little bit of spirit into, a big wide burgundy, red wine glass, something like that, and put your nose in it, it will nearly knock you out. It's just that blast of alcohol. So like when you see spirits glasses that they use for tasting, oftentimes they're more slender, but they focus the aromatics based on each spirit.
So when you're blind tasting wines, we tend to put it in the same shaped glass across the board just to not give away what varietal it could be.
But I will say, if you just get one glass that has a pretty good shape, is moderately sized, and you don't mind if your white wine gets a little bit warm, like just room temperature, then you only need one glass. And you can drink just fine with just one glass.
So sometimes for tasting, I'll actually use a smaller white wine glass for both white and red, just because you can pour 2, 3, 4 ounces in and you get the full effect.
So champagne glasses have become a very hot topic.
I prefer to drink champagne out of a white wine glass or that AP glass because it allows for more exchange with the oxygen and also the aromatics. Sticking your nose into a champagne glass, you're gonna get that blast of bubbles, probably gonna cause you to tear up a little bit.
The best style for champagne when you're serving a guest tends to be tulip shaped because you want it to have a little breath so that the wine can open up and express itself, but generally you like a more narrow closure for the top.
Champagne is its own category, but it's still a wine. It's not just something you drink and don't think about. It's not just for celebration. And the way people are really focusing the wine glass mentality for champagne is that we want the wine to be something you can enjoy, not only the flavor of, but also the scent of. So that means we shouldn't drink it as cold as we do. We should allow the wine to take up more space in the glass. So you're kind of seeing, imagine this, but more like about that size. We're seeing a lot more of that with respect to champagne flutes nowadays.
Do the best that you can do. I've only drunk out of the bottle maybe like 2 or 3 times. Maybe 4.